Hello and welcome to a new episode of Cultural Magazine where we bring you the latest cultural events taking place around the nation. Let's go take a look at today's episode.
Within the anniversary celebrations of the Nobel laureate Naguib Mahfouz in December, Minister of Culture Dr. Ines Abdaim inaugurates a caricature or cartoons exhibition which comes within the framework of the Cultural Relations Initiative. The ceremony is held as part of cooperation between the external cultural relations sector headed by Dr. Saad Shawqi and the plastic arts sector headed by Dr. Khalid Surur in cooperation with the embassies of Colombia and Mexico in Cairo, along with the Egyptian Caricature Association headed by artist Goma Farahat at the Hall of Renaissance of Egypt at Mahmoud Mukhtar Museum. Within the initiative Cultural Relations, that Naguib Mahfouz wanted to meet with Nobel Prize holder novelist Gabriel Garcia Marquez on his birthday. The Minister of Culture inaugurates a cartoon portrait exhibition between Naguib Mahfouz and Garcia. The work seeks to coordinate cultural relations between Egypt and various countries, and the cartoon portrait exhibition fulfills one of Naguib Mahfouz's wishes. The idea of the exhibition is inspired by one of the wishes of the late Naguib Mahfouz, which he had narrated to the writer Muhammad Salmawi, which is to meet with Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the Colombian writer and the novelist who spent a large part of his life in Mexico, noting that it includes the participation of a number of international artists for both writers and the possibility of meeting them together. The minister added that Colombia's ambassador and Mexico's ambassador to Egypt welcomed support for the idea and emphasized the possibility of developing it to include all writers and Nobel Prize winners in Latin America with the great writer Naguib Mahfouz. For his part, the head of the plastic arts sector said that the exhibition includes 110 cartoons of about 100 artists from several countries, including Egypt, Colombia, Mexico, Cuba, Brazil, Costa Rica, Peru, Uruguay, Spain, India, China, Indonesia, Russia, and others. Both novelists never met, but their first contact was when Naguib Mahfouz was subject to an assassination attempt, and Gabriel Garcia sent him a personal letter of 2 pages, which he wrote in his own handwriting in Spanish, which included congratulations to Mahfouz for his Arab literature and for his survival, saying that the sun's rays always triumph over the clouds, no matter how dark or rainy. The Colombian writer Marcus spoke about Mahfouz's influence on world literature and urged him to continue his efforts under all circumstances. As for the second occasion, it came about 10 years later when Mahfouz sent to Marcus a personal letter in which he urged him to write in all cases, as the writer should not leave the pen, and talk to him as one could speak to a friend or brother, saying to him, "You should hold on to your pen whether you have something to write or not." Marcus was also going through a tough time on the second occasion in a personal ordeal. Mahfouz advised him to write and continue his literacy efforts. The Arab Theater Festival began recently at the Higher Institute of Theater Arts at the Academy of Arts. This year's edition, the 37th, is in honor of the late artist Sana Shafi'a. The theater works taking part in the festival are competing for awards with 13 theatrical performances. The festival is held under the supervision of the Dean of the Higher Institute for Theater Arts, Dr. Medhat Kashif, and the Secretary and Pioneer of the Students' Union, Dr. Abir Fauzi. The opening and closing ceremonies are directed by artist Taha Khalifa. The director of the festival is the artist Muhammad Hani Medhat. The festival is held at the Higher Institute for Theater Arts, and all of the performances are prepared and presented by students of the Institute, the graduates of the class of 2002, and they included the artist Marwa Abdelmenem and the director Khaled Hassouna, along with a group of stars, graduates of the Academy, including Ahmed Helmi and Megid Kidwani.
has always appreciated its amazing artists and has always tried to celebrate them in different ways and different forms. Let's find out about how this country is celebrating our local artists.
Minister of Culture Dr. Ines Abduldaim honored the name of the late director Dr. Samir Saif during a celebration commemorating the first anniversary of his death under the title Samir Saif, An Eternal Smile. The celebration was organized by the Cultural Development Fund sector in cooperation with the Egyptian Opera House and the producing company of the film Augustine, the Son of Her Tears, the last work of the late director. The ceremonies were attended by Dr. Fathi Abdul Wahab, head of the Cultural Development Fund, in addition to an array of artists, media men, and lovers of the late director. For her part, the minister said that a year has passed since the departure of the late director Dr. Samir Saif, the director and scriptwriter who the ministry has appreciated his artistic career, his masterpieces, his films and series. Afterwards, she added that she met and dealt with him in the Ministry of Culture during his presidency of the Egyptian National Film Festival, and she found him an authentic professional artist whose personality carries all the characteristics of creativity. She said that he enjoyed a calm smile, extreme modesty, encyclopedic culture, with never-ending love for cinema. During her speech, the Minister of Culture mourned the late genius Samir Saif, saying that words are unable to describe feelings, especially as we commemorate the first anniversary of the departure of a creative friend. We all learned from his experiences and art, whether as recipients or participants who worked with him, gaining a lot from his sense of responsibility as well. His works will remain prominent icons that dealt with many humanitarian and social issues in our society. Moreover, the Minister of Culture delivered his son Danny the shield of the Ministry of Culture in a gesture of gratitude and appreciation to his artistic career that enriched the Egyptian creative movement.
اطلع عليا يا سحاب يا أبيض، ابسط جناحك يا سحاب وافرد، وامطر عليا ميتك أنهار، تملي ريق العيال المصلوبين في النار، افرد جناحك يا سحاب وافرد.
In the same context, Henry Aoun, head of the film producing company, thanked the Minister of Culture for her patronage of this celebration to mourn the wonderful artistic icon Samir Saif, expressing his feelings of pride and gratitude as he considers himself a faithful student of the late director, describing him as the greatest character that he has ever met. He added that Saif has taught him film production for more than 25 years. Aoun added that Saif's works will always be seen on Arab screens who are fond of his works.
أنا صاحب فكرة فيلم أغسطينوس ابن دموعها اللي هو كان آخر فيلم أخرجه الدكتور سمير سيف.
The last film that Samir Saif directed was Augustine, which was my idea. We worked together for 25 years in many television series, such as Thirsty Hearts and The Higher Homes. We need to revive his memory as a great Egyptian director. Samir Saif is an endless smile, as he was very modest, loving, and tolerant. All that I learned about cinema, I learned from Saif. It is worthy of note that the ceremony included presenting a distinguished artistic performance which dealt with video clips of the late creative life and his most important artistic stations, presenting a musical and lyrical performance animated by Cairo Orchestra Ceremonial Ensemble led by Maestro Negir Negi. The ceremony also included screening a documentary film prepared and directed by Albert Makram. The film dealt with the late artistic career in addition to presenting the last work of the late director, the film Augustine, The Son of Her Tears, which is a joint Tunisian-Algerian production.
شكري للقائمين بإعداد الاحتفالية بالعام الأول لوفاة مخرجنا الكبير سمير سيف.
I thank all of those who took part in this celebration in memory of the director Samir Saif, who was dubbed my twin. Our friendship started when we were very young, a scriptwriter and a co-director. I worked with him in his second film, which was The Devil in the City. Samir was a very polite and tolerant person, that if he had lived in the Middle Ages, he would have been considered a brave knight. My relationship with Saif went on since we were very production company together and produced several films, The Terrorist, Shams Zaneti, and The Mushroom. He was cultured, especially in cinema. He could also transmit his knowledge to others, which made his students love him very much. He even proposed my teaching photography at church lessons, though I'm a Muslim. The most important thing in today's celebration is that people still love him so much so as to hold this ceremony for his commemoration. Samir Saif is considered to be one of the most important directors of Egyptian cinema who presented distinguished works such as the films Al-Majbouh, starring Adil Imam and Suad Hosni. Due to the great success of this film, he presented many important films for the renowned actor Adil Imam, including The Tiger and the Female. And he also cooperated with the late superstars Mahmoud Abdelaziz in the movie The Pleasure Market, superstar Ahmed Zaki in the movie His Excellency the Minister, and many, many more movies.
You're still watching Cultural Magazine. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far, and keep watching. You'll find out more. The Cairo Opera House presented a series of concerts named Kulthumiyat on a monthly basis. The name is derived from renowned Arabic singer Kulthum, dubbed the Planet of the East by her fans. The Cairo Opera House hosts on its stage a concert by the band Abdel Halim Nuera as part of the Kulthumiyat series of concerts. The band was led by Maestro Salah Rabbashi. concert included a number of Kulthum's most distinguished songs, such as Is'al Ruhak, which was composed by Muhammad Mugi, Agartak by Riyad Sumbati, Amal Hayati by Muhammad Abdul Wahab, and many more short songs, in addition to a number of patriotic songs by the singer. The concerts are part of the Opera House's plans to revive the Arabic music heritage and make it known to the younger generation, as this is an important part of Egypt's cultural heritage. Kulthum is considered to be a bridge between the past, the present, and the future. This brings us to the end of this episode of Cultural Magazine. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more on Now TV.